What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Unscripted Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Eduardo, and I'm here with my co-host, Edward. What's up, Edward?
What's up, Ed?
Not much, not much. Another week of football. A lot of points scored. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
man.
week seven. This was a very
A
hard
lot
to
of great
believe. We're
matchups.
kind of hard to believe we're kind of near the midpoint of the season, but it kind of went so fast. But still a lot of football left.
Still a lot of football left. A lot of, teams fighting for playoff spots or, winning the divisions, trying to win the divisions. But there was a lot of games, good games going on. But there was also a lot of injuries. There was a very lots of injuries in week seven. Obviously the last night, what Chris Godwin got hurt, and apparently he's let me just look it up real quick. Tampa Bay, like an apparent like leg injury or something like that that could be out.
Apparently, it was like
ACL. His
apparently it was
ACL.
no, I think it was a ankle dislocation.
Uh-huh. But he could be out for the rest of the season, right?
Yeah,
Mike Evans also got hurt, but I'm not sure
yeah,
what his injuries are.
it was a hamstring injury.
Yeah, hamstring. When he scored the touchdown, I believe. Or no, was it when he scored the touchdown? When it was no, he didn't score. He didn't score, right?
I think Baker was looking for him in the end zone for another
Yeah.
touchdown, and that's when they ruled him out for the game.
Yeah, and then obviously the Raiders, they lost Aiden O'Connell. He's on injury reserve. He'll miss at least 4 to 5 weeks. Who else? Brandon Ayuk. He held out all off
And
season.
his
He's
friend
out.
said he has a torn ACL and MCL.
But I mean, I guess for a reason you held out, right? You never know it in football. Anything can happen, any injuries, and fortunately he got hurt, but he still got paid. Debo did not play that this week against the Chiefs. He had an illness. I guess he came out for warm-ups and he got was not feeling well and did not play all game. Who knows what his injury was? I guess it said pneumonia or something like that.
We know Ed, he was in your parlay. We know he was in mine
No,
too.
no,
So
no, he wasn't in mine. He wasn't in mine. He was in my fantasy team. That's what he was. And I think the biggest one is the Deshaun Watson in Cleveland was an Achilles injury. If you see the replay, if you see every the images, you can clearly see that it was the Achilles injury. And when
uh-huh.
he went down, everybody kind of knew what it was. Um, now, now a lot of people in the game, I mean, at the stadium, and I'm sure a lot of Cleveland fans were kind of happy that, you know,
They were booing a
this
man when he got they were booing the man for getting injured, and it's in really bad taste. And I don't know. I
like I get
understand
it.
that I
Yeah, go ahead.
understand that they're a franchise. It's kind of like they haven't had the best luck when it comes to quarterbacks, but yeah, booing the he's like booing the franchise quarterback when he's down. It's in very bad taste, and
And some of them were cheering that he got hurt. And
I mean they weren't booing. I mean, cheering that he got hurt,
yeah, they
and
were,
it's just really in bad taste, honestly. Like,
regardless of what he did, and obviously
yeah,
all the stuff, you
yeah, we
know,
don't need to get into that, but just it's just not a good look, especially as a fan base, just cheering for when someone's down.
and
It's really
I get it,
distasteful.
like he was not playing well, and obviously people wanted Jameis Winston or DTR, but this probably wasn't the way that they wanted it, and obviously the fans, they're happy that he got hurt, but like you said, it's not a good look. It's not, and nobody should cheer for anybody that gets hurt or anything like that, regardless of what their issues were outside of or outside whatever Deshaun did, or allegedly did, you know, but I guess now and then their backup got hurt too, right? DTR got hurt. He came in. He was the second quarterback, and he got hurt. And then Jameis came in.
I
So
didn't
I
know.
think,
I didn't know all about that.
yeah, he got hurt. So then Jameis got in. So who knows who's going to be the starter? Probably Jameis. Everybody wanted to see Jameis Winston. So, um, we'll see we'll see what happens there. But like I said, there was a lot of good games. Let's get into the Sunday night. Sunday night. We've been waiting for football all Sunday night as a anthem songs. The Steelers took on the Jets in their home at home in Pittsburgh. You guys won 37-15 with
Yeah.
with Russell Wilson as the starting quarterback.
Yep. Nationally televised game. They wore the throwback unis, wore my throwback hoodie, kind of got the throwback background. I don't
Now,
know if you can tell. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, I kind of like took a little trip to the '70s. Kind of like
uh,
wanted to get the little. I think I might have like a little sepia filter on,
mhm.
just trying to get that '70s aesthetic. But celebrating the 50th anniversary of the first Super Bowl, and Steelers did what they did: 5-0, undefeated in the throwbacks, and got that dub.
Well, now they're 5-2 in the season, first in the division, or no? I mean, the Ravens won yesterday, but they could be tied. They could be tied they're tied for first. So the biggest story was whether Russell Wilson, obviously leading up to the week, it was, Russell Wilson, they were considering him starting, and obviously, Justin Fields was the starter. He was starting at the beginning of the season. He played well. What, 10 touchdowns? What, two interceptions? One interception? And they were 4-2. There was a lot of controversy whether they should even like start Russ and move away from Justin. But I guess obviously even when they signed both of them, I guess apparently it was going to be Russ the starter from day one. They said it was a quarterback competition, but it was gonna probably gonna be Russ.
He was in pole position to be the starter.
Yeah. What
As
are
a
your
Steeler
thoughts?
fan, I can
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, I can kind of like trace the whole timeline of everything.
But you guys were like you guys were liking the way Justin played, right? For the most part, most of you guys were, it was probably split. Maybe some of them didn't want Justin, some people did want Justin, and obviously during the game, people were booing Russell Wilson in the
All right,
first
so
quarter.
let's just get some things right. Russ was the starter for week one. He's had that injury, so pretty much game time, last minute decision to throw Justin Fields in as the starter for week one. Played exceptional throughout, pretty
Or
much
decent,
throughout
or
his.
he played decent. He didn't make a mistake. He played decent.
He played
What I
very
would I
well
would I wouldn't say
during his
exceptional,
time.
but he played well. Yeah, he
Yeah,
played well.
yeah. So basically, Russ. It was pretty much a matter of when Russ was going to get healthy, and yeah, up until like this week was probably like the first time he was actually healthy, got the first team reps in practice. And the only thing that just bothered me about this whole thing is that it just kind of like dominated throughout the week when I think we kind of knew what was going on or like what eventually would happen.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying Justin Fields is bench or like demoted. I'm pretty sure they'll still. I have a feeling like they'll still have plans. They still have plans in the future for Justin, and has still plans in place for him for the season. But Mike Tomlin knew what he was doing pretty much when he started Russ. Obviously, when you haven't played in 6 weeks, you're gonna feel a little rusty. Russ was still kind of like searching for his game rhythm
But you guys were
early
already
on,
booing.
but
You guys were already booing him from the first. He was making mistakes. He wasn't
we were
playing
not
well
booing
during
the
the game.
man.
They
The
were
fans were
booing.
just upset with
They
what
were
was
booing
seen on the
him. They
field.
were booing him. They were booing him. They were booing him. They were booing
They were
him.
just upset they couldn't get points. They were not booing the
They
man.
were they were booing him. They were booing him.
We
They
heard boos,
were
but they're not booing Russell. They were
They
not
were
booing the
booing
man,
Russell
Russell
Wilson.
Wilson.
See how serious fans are? You guys are never satisfied. You guys were booing him. You guys didn't know, like you said, he hasn't played in 6 weeks. So he obviously had to get in rhythm. Throughout the game, he got in rhythm. What are your thoughts on Russell Wilson? I think it's definitely there's things that Justin does better than Russ, and there's things that Russ does better than Justin. And you saw it in the passing game. The way
Well,
that the way that like Russ, like those deep, like you said, the deep balls, those kind of finesse shots, that's kind of like just the over in the end zone, kind of just
yeah, I was
thrown in
gonna
the air,
speak.
those type of balls
Yeah,
that
I was gonna
Justin
speak
can't
on
make.
that. Like we weren't upset with the Russell Wilson signing. I even knew once we got him, I still said he can still throw that deep ball, and that was really the one number one component the offense was really missing in the whole vertical
And
game.
he didn't play
Like
bad
not,
last season for the Broncos. He didn't play that. He just had that with the first season that he was with the Broncos, he was garbage. But the second
mhm.
the last season, he played well. What is it like 22 touchdowns and like
They had yeah, I think it was 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
yeah, so he played well. It was just a horrible Broncos team, but he played well.
But yeah, by no stretch, I never ever said Rush doesn't deserve to start or be a starter in the league. But that's the number one component he brings to the offense, and I'm pretty sure Mike Tomlin was thinking long term. I think still says he's recording.
All right, so we had technical difficulties, but you were talking about Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I was basically saying that after that long ball to George Pickens, it pretty much set up everything for the first touchdown of the night the first Steelers touchdown of the night, the 11 yarder George Pickens. He finished with
Mhm.
5 catches, 111 yards and a touchdown.
But everything was going
And
right. Everything was going right for the Steelers, even with that insane like catch from George Pickens that kind of just
that's
like
just what
everything
GB does.
everything was going right. Even the defense, Beanie Bishop, Beanie Baby, he had two interceptions. That one weird interception that, like Garrett Wilson had the ball. It literally bounced off his chest and then just landed on Beanie
He just
Bishop's
caught
like,
off the deflection.
everything went right for the Steelers. He said Russ 16 for 29, threw for 264, two touchdowns. You guys threw what? Did you guys go over 300 yards, 400 yards?
Uh,
I think so. I think that team team stats. Yeah, you guys went over for a 409 yards. It's been a while since you guys for total yards. And I think that's the thing that
that's just
like
that's the Artie Smith
look,
offense. We
look,
don't need to go back. We don't
look,
need to
look,
talk
look,
about the other
look, 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 look,
offense.
look. The thing was that you guys didn't score points. You guys didn't score a lot of points. To play against like let's say the Ravens, the Chiefs, if you guys are gonna go play, you have to score points. Your defense is gonna do what your defense does. Your defense has always been great. DJ Watt, obviously this team is really good. It was just the offense that needed to help score points. I think
I
last game
mean,
you guys scored like 30 plus points last game, but you guys played who'd you guys play last week? The Raiders, right? So
yeah.
yeah, you guys put up points, but it was like we needed to see something like this, and you guys 37 points, and you guys got the passing game going. Najee he scored, ran for 102 yards. You got Jalen Warren come
Back
back.
back to back 100-yard games from
Uh,
Najee. A lot of people recording kind of had some things to say, but
I mean
I still
he
have
wasn't
belief
scoring.
in him. And
He he said Artie Smith, but it's the passing game. That was the thing. It was the passing game that you guys really had to get going, and you guys, George Pickens got going. Freiermuth had that one-handed catch. He had two catches for 51 yards, but he had that kind of one-handed catch.
mhm.
Darnell Washington, he stepped out. Calvin Austin, Van Jefferson, he even scored. But
You were
this
looking for
like
him from last week. I told you we
yeah, I was
found
like
him.
but I was kind of like you guys need more receivers or something. But I think that's the component like what Russ kind of incorporates in this team, and he's able to find these receivers. Justin is, he has potential in the future. He could be the future of the Steelers, but maybe in certain throws, like there's things where I feel like there's like once when they were kind of like the defense was going at Russ, there was spaces where he could have ran, but he didn't run. But that's something Justin would have done. Justin, there's open space in the middle, and he would have run. But Russ kind of finds those throws or something like that. So it's different.
I mean, we were just pretty much what I saw was pretty much the whole Russ's whole playing style was like he kind of just lets things like kind of come to him, takes his time. Basically, we kind of did let Russ cook, and I kind of saw it
Mhm.
where he was rolling out. He played a little too urgently in the beginning, but eventually he would get. He just kind of like took what it came to him, and that was like kind of vintage Russ.
Mhm.
But other than that, just like last week, we pretty much executed it well in each phase of the game: offense, defense, special
Special teams,
teams.
special teams. I think you guys really. I've seen a lot of special teams, like field goals. I don't see that much effort like you guys do, and you guys had like two block field goals,
Yep.
two block field goals. So I think special teams obviously
I'm
you
telling
guys
you
have
that Danny Smith coaching,
yeah, he got to spit that gum out, that big ass chunk of gum that he has. But I
look,
mean, you guys
all that gonna translate to a great special teams play.
now he was upset because there was a what there was a penalty or no, what was it?
Apparently, there was this penalty on Minka that I guess that kind of went against the Steelers, but
Mhm.
it's just pretty much irrelevant. We got the win, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
Now let's go to the other side, the Jets. They acquired Devontae Adams, reunites with Aaron Rodgers. It was gonna be one of those, reunions where, it was all good. This was a must win for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers 24 for 39, threw for 260, 276, one touchdown and two interceptions. Obviously, the one interception was with they bounced off Garrett Wilson. Big night for Brees Hall receiving wise. He scored a touchdown. Devontae only had three catches for 30 yards. He tried to get him going, but it wasn't there. This Jets defense is not what it used to be last year. They are 2-5. Like, what the hell is going on with the Jets organization? They're just like
I
nothing.
mean,
There's nothing, and they obviously they got Hassan Reddick now. I guess the contract situation now it's good, so he'll be back with the team starting. I think it was yesterday that he was with the team or something like that. But 2-5 already, and just this organization is just
I
they
mean,
said they went all in, but
just as long as I've been watching the NFL,
the Jet
it's
they
not
just
Jets, it's not Jets football if there isn't really like any dysfunction going on because pretty much each headline's been about all the dysfunction. They fired Robert Saleh, then they got
the
Devontae
defense got
Adams,
worse.
that too. They got Devontae Adams, which is great because him and Aaron still had that chemistry from Green Bay, but a
But
lot
you
of people are saying that maybe they did that move out of desperation too.
Yeah, but you saw it kind of open up more space for Garrett Wilson, open a little bit more space for Alan Lazard. So, Devontae is the number one guy, but your second guy is Garrett Wilson. He, is a threat. He's
But
basically the wide receiver number one. So there was moments where there was really good things from the Jets, but they can't protect Aaron Rodgers. That offensive line can't protect him. And he's not young anymore. So it's hard for him to
I
even.
mean, he has pretty much like two of those receivers he got from Green Bay. So I know, like I said, they kind of got Devontae and they said it's kind of like out of desperation, but I still think they kind of need some of that timing to just like clean
Yeah.
things up. I'm sure a lot
They
of the
got the
verbiage
Patriots
is still the
next.
same.
They got
Hmm.
the Patriots next. So we'll see. That could be a game they could lose. Who knows? Um, Now here's a stat for you. Last season, the Jets were 4-3 with Zach Wilson. They're 2-5 now.
I
And it was,
mean, shoot,
and I think it's just because the defense was a little bit better last season. This defense is like not what it used to be or what we expected this defense was. This defense was literally it will help all season was like we just need a quarterback and just score a little bit of points. The defense is gonna help teams under like certain points, and as long as the offense scores, we should be good. But this defense just is just getting cooked week
they
after
just
week.
look, yeah, they just look sloppy
Yeah.
this game.
All right, let's move on. There was a lot of good games, obviously. Last night Lamar had a sensational performance. He took on the Bucks. He threw for five touchdowns, 281. Mark Andrews showed up, two touchdowns. Derrick Henry saved a lot of parlays, a lot of bets, a lot of fantasy teams. He was able to score towards the end of the fourth quarter. Um, that dude, he's always gonna score. He had a lot of runs. He already ran for like 169, ran for 169 yards. Zay
Mhm.
Flowers got hurt, right? I know he was in your parlay, and yeah, I think that's all you needed,
He
right?
got he got
And
hurt, but he stayed in the game. But I don't think Lamar wasn't really giving him too many opportunities, but he tried toughing it out from start to finish. I'll
yeah,
give him that.
this Ravens defense is really good. The offense is really good. Lamar is showing an MVP performance. Let me show you his stats. His stats are he is he has thrown for 1,810 yards, 15 touchdowns, and only two interceptions this season. So he's on trajectory to be an
I mean,
MVP.
it's
right
interesting you
now.
bring up like MVP because there's another person I kind of think maybe might be in that conversation and might talk about a different game. But maybe we should probably start talking about Jared Goff on the Detroit Lions.
Jared Goff, right? Jared Goff has played well. Wasn't the guy I was
I
thinking about,
mean,
but yeah, Jared Goff definitely
I
has.
mean, I mean, the Lions are 5-1 right now. I mean, the stats aren't too mind-blowing: 1,610 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. But as the team's pretty much going 5-1, and they lost Aiden Hutchinson. They
And
lost Aiden
that was a
Hutchinson for
thing.
the
That
season.
was a thing. Like it was a big loss to lose Aiden Hutcherson, and what were they gonna do? And this team played really well against the Vikings, which their defense with B-Flow, it's really good, and they
Yeah.
put up 31 points on him. Jameer Gibbs had 2 touchdowns, even though Montgomery got hurt towards he got hurt, but he was able to come back. He was not able to find the end zone. I kind of needed him to find the end zone, but you know,
I
um,
mean, when Goff, he pretty much played a pretty clean game, and all that when he had that touchdown to Amon-Ra St. Brown, it was a good read, and he pretty much gave Amon-Ra a shot 1-on-1, even when they were rushing. They had 7 guys at the line of scrimmage, and he pretty much gave Amon-Ra that 1-on-1 shot. Whereas Amon-Ra, he'll take that 50-50 ball, even though a lot of people probably think like he's probably best as a slot receiver. That
nah,
pretty much it goes. It pretty much.
but
I pretty much say all that to say the Lions' offense is pretty much. I think they're going to be a force in the NFC and pretty
but
much in the
see,
league.
so how you said like what George Pickens said that he's a slot receiver, right? Merchant or something like that. But it's quarterbacks. You see what with a quarterback that can like it's really good at throwing the football. Russell, you see what he George Pickens did last game. It's different. Jared Goff is a really good quarterback.
That
He's
whole
able to
quote was
pass
just
game.
blown out of proportion. He wasn't even dissing Amon Ra when he said
No,
that.
but I'm just saying. But still, you see how the difference is when you have a good quarterback that's able to throw the football. There you go. Hopefully, we'll see more of George Pickens. Like I said, I don't. I never said that he was not good. I thought he was good. He just needed a better quarterback. Look at his quarterbacks list prior.
I
You know.
mean, Justin Fields is throwing him good balls too.
Yeah, but obviously, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying, Russell Wilson
I mean, you said,
throwing the football wise. But I'm
yeah,
saying like in the past, Kenny Pickett, but Mason Rudolph, we see, he played well in Tennessee even though they lost. But like I said, another MVP candidate, Josh Allen, has played really well. The Bills are also 5-2. Um, his
they just
threw
got Amari
for
Cooper as well.
and they were able to score. He scored a touchdown. It opened up for Keon Coleman. He's more open now. He had his big game. I think he had over 100 yards. He has 12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and has thrown for 1,483 yards. So the 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 MVP race is pretty close. Because look, the Chiefs and Mahomes, Mahomes is not really like he hasn't been playing well, but the Chiefs are still undefeated. And they took on this Niners team that, they're decimated with a lot of injuries and it's not looking good for them. And, you know, they're 3-4
Yeah,
right now.
I feel like this game was kind of hyped up as like the whole Super Bowl rematch, but
It was on, I think it was more on the 49ers side, man, because they were just like
yeah,
they just want to beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs already beat them twice in the Super Bowl. I think it was more on the Niners fan base that were just like, man, we want to beat the Chiefs. We're at home. We're gonna beat the Chiefs, but
I
you know,
mean, the Chiefs they have still had their fair share of injuries. Pacheco's still on IR. Juju,
he got hurt, right?
he got hurt.
Hamstring, hamstring. But Mahomes has 2 interceptions. He didn't throw for a touchdown. Kareem Hunt. I think some people forget how good Kareem Hunt was. Obviously, he was already in Kansas City. Obviously,
Mhm.
something happened, and then
He, I mean, he's still familiar with that offense and his role, so I'm pretty
two
sure
touchdowns. Yeah,
he's a
he
very
scored two.
good plug and play type
Yeah,
player.
2 touchdowns, 78 yards. So he's a really good running back to have right now as a backup. Well, right now he's a starter, but imagine with Pacheco with the playoffs going. Pacheco comes back.
Like,
Kareem Hunt.
yeah, it's kind of like what we were saying last year. Even though the Chiefs, on paper, like their stats aren't looking good, they still won the Super Bowl last year, and they're still 6-0. Even like they execute pretty. This game, they kind of were. It was kind of like sloppy execution, but and then when him down Mahomes, he kind of relied on his legs. He's not really. He can run. He might have this little awkward running style, but maybe sometimes when it's just not working with his arm, he can make plays with his legs, and it apparently can truck stick defenders too.
Yeah, you saw that he tried the defender. Yeah, man, there was a lot
But
of
yes, even Travis Kelsey still hasn't gotten going right now. But what we saw with the Chiefs in the playoffs, they can turn it on, and
yeah.
I just know, yeah, they're playing. It's looking a little ugly, but still six
They're
and
still
zero,
there,
and
but that's a scary part because imagine if they, they're gonna get going. I'm sure during, November, December, and playoff season, playoff when the playoffs start, they're gonna get going. So it's kind of scary right now. They're 6-0, and they haven't played the best football, but we'll see. Um, Commanders took on the shitty ass Panthers. The poo poo Panthers. The Panthers are really bad, man. They're horrible. Like Jaden Daniels got hurt with a rib injury, and Marcus Mariota, former Heisman Trophy winner. He came in and balled out, 18 for 23, threw for 205 yards, two touchdowns.
I mean,
The Commanders won 40-7, and just
yeah,
the
they
Panthers.
won, but is it really much? Is it
Yeah,
really
I'm just
much playing the Panthers?
no, but you know what? This is actually pretty good with for Mariota. He got reps, in game reps right now because who knows if Jane Downs is gonna play? I think the coach said it's week to week. Um, so like I said, we play the Bears next, and after that we play your Steelers. So it could be smart, kind of put Mariota just against the Bears, and and having Jaden Daniels be healthy for the Steelers one because obviously we got to go against the Steelers, and the Steelers defense is pretty good. Why would you want him against the Bears? The Bears defense is also pretty good, but keep him healthy. Try to keep him healthy.
I mean, he's
Um,
day to day, and I'm pretty sure he's just getting treatment. Like they're
yeah,
just doing what's best for him.
yeah, but yeah. I mean, anything else? NBA season starting today. NBA is back. Uh,
Yeah, it's the Timberwolves versus the Lakers in the later game, and it's the Knicks versus the Celtics in the opening game.
who do you got on the Celtics versus Knicks? I say
Oh
Boston
boy.
wins. Boston wins. It's their what are they doing the ring ceremony? Home opener. They just come back from win the championship. I know the Knicks. They have Karl Anthony Towns. He
I
debuts,
don't,
but I
I
say
don't
the
know
Celtics
about
win.
yeah, just some betting advice when it comes to basketball. I don't know about money line. Maybe just stick to some player props.
Yeah,
Just to
but
get that.
I say the Celtics win, and you said the Timberwolves versus the Lakers. I'll
Yes.
take the Timberwolves. I'll take the Timberwolves. We still don't know what the Lakers are. Yeah, obviously they have um new
I
coach
also
JJ Redick, but I think the
Yeah,
Timberwolves
I
win.
almost forgot they swapped out Randall for Karl Anthony Towns. Now Randall's on the Timberwolves,
Yeah. So
but they
I'll
still
say the
got Ant
Timberwolves.
Man.
Ant-Man, yeah, I like, and they got DiVincenzo. Man, they got White Dante. They got Dante DiVincenzo. I'll take the Lakers. Will we see Bronny though? We could see Bronny.
Inter-
We could see
Interesting.
Bronny. We could see Bronny. Bronny could play tonight,
I mean,
regardless.
I don't know what JJ's rotation is going to be looking like, but we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah. But any last words before we end the podcast?
Yeah, not to my knowledge.
Nothing else.
Trade deadline's coming soon, so it's election day. Anything else, Ed?
No, nothing else. All right, till then, we'll be back with another episode. Peace.
Goodbye. Go Steelers.